I gotta go check this out. No way. That's a rare bird right there. Yep, that's right, guys. I picked up a 1966 Ford Thunderbird. I haven't really checked it out yet. Figured I'd get everything on camera. But the car is super duper clean. It looks like the only issues we really have, we have some somebody repainted the car. They did a really good job, but there was some Bondo in the quarter, and I'm not sure if it was just the trunk was leaking, or if the Bondo caused the rusting, or if they just they might have just covered the rust with Bondo. I think a guy had bought it from like a car flipper guy, and he said that this car supposedly was running and driving like within the last at least 4 years. So this one is going to be a super duper easy one, as long as the guy wasn't lying to me. I mean, we should have this thing running in no time. But whenever I picked it up the tires, I mean, they just look terrible. I mean, I've seen cars that have sat way longer that look better, but the tread was completely separated. The rear tires aired up. I had to put tires on the front, just some cheap, actually they're tires that came out of that 49 Plymouth. And then unfortunately, whenever I trailered it home, the car rolled backward off my trailer, and it dented the door. I mean, this car was perfect straight. This would literally be the perfect car to just patch the rust and then repaint it, and it would have been a really quick, easy fixer-upper. But you can see that sucks. And even where it dented, you can see there was some Bondo in the door, like they had painted it at one point. Of course, it has this plastic garbage, but you gotta see the inside of this car. Check this out. Look how nice that is. Door panels are all intact. Couple small cracks. The seats are almost perfect. Just one little tear right here. So basically, if I can find somebody that can just patch this piece, and then for the dash, I'll probably just put a cover over the top of the dash. I haven't looked through all this stuff yet. So here's some sort of a Ford, I don't know what that is. I guess it's for the windshield wipers. Uh-oh. So that's not a good sign. We got a thermostat box. Hopefully they didn't have issues with overheating on it. I bought these spark plug wires because you'll see they're ate up by rats. A lot of chrome. Does this car really have that much chrome? Oh, this goes in the inside. Wow. This car is all blinged out. Here's the sun visor. That's in good condition. I have all the hubcaps. Oh, no way. Look at that, a four-barrel carburetor. Holley 4-barrel. I mean, that's basically what I paid for the car right there, in brake parts and a carburetor. The back seat's in perfect condition. Headliner's missing. I don't really care about that. Mainly, I just patch the seat and then get a cover for the dash. And check this out. This is really cool. I'm not used to cars being this nice when I buy them. The only issue is there's a small hole in the floor. So far, the only thing that I found, of course, small hole in the floor on the passenger seat. The trunk, somebody drilled the lock and I can't get into it, but there's a hole in the floor on the right front area, and I was able to crawl underneath it and look up in the trunk, and there's nothing in the trunk, just those couple small holes. Driver's side seems decent. I think there was a tiny couple pinholes. 1966. It had air conditioning, power windows, power door locks, power disc brakes, power steering, I mean, this is like a modern car, except for you only get like 6 miles to the gallon, because it doesn't have the big 400 and whatever cubic inch. It has the smaller 390. But look at this. So let's say you're driving around and slide the steering wheel over. You can actually slide the steering wheel over. That way it makes it easier to get it out of the car. And then when you come back into the car, you slide it back over and it locks into place. I have a really good feeling about this car because the guy told me that it had only been parked for a few years. All right, vinyl top is completely gone. Honestly, I'm afraid to rip it off because I don't know what's hiding underneath it. It could be bad, could be good, I don't know. We will we'll sit on that one for a little bit, and I don't know. I'll have to come up with a decision on what I want to do. Okay, this is the part of the car that made me say, hey man, I'm on my way to pick it up. Look how beautiful that is. This car is so sleek. I think these cars are really underrated. You know, as far as 60s Fords, most guys like the Mustangs and everything like that, mainly the Mustangs. But these cars are as good looking, if not better, and you know, they come with all these options and that big block V8, which, you know, I think it was like 340 horse, 20 horse, something like 320 horse, something like that. But a big heavy car like this, which I found out when I pulled it home, yeah, which I almost killed myself whenever it rolled back the trailer, and it made me jackknife. But I'll show you, I'll put some pictures up there with the damage on my truck. This side, this door panel is in even better condition. There's no cracks, maybe a little bit. Check out this this little flapper deal. Well, this one doesn't work, but see, oh, there you go. See, you go like that, you crank it to open it, which is probably not necessary. It's pretty cool though. All the rockers are solid, no rust in the rockers, which is I'm baffled by that. And check out this. This is revolutionary. I have a car that's 6 years newer, a Dart. It doesn't even have retractable seat belts. So, man, Ford really outdid themselves on these Thunderbirds. Which I'm sure most of the stuff doesn't work, but I know for sure they were having a problem with the windows because the jiggle-em-bobs are all disconnected and the wiring's going everywhere. But I bought a battery for it. I tried to charge. As I was working on that Plymouth over there that you guys have seen, I tried to charge the battery that was in it, but after 3 days it just wasn't holding a charge. Yeah, there it is, 390 big block. Looks very original. I'm not sure how many miles are actually on it. I'm sure the dash is rolled, so it's probably at 150,000 or 250,000. But the motor, I couldn't really get the motor to turn over by hand when I was there. I pulled the belt a little bit, and it barely turned a little bit and stopped, and I turned it the other way and it stopped. So we may have a locked up yeah, but this is it. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and throw the battery in it. We'll see if we can get it to spin, and if it spins over, then I'll go ahead and put the new spark plug wires on it, and we'll put some starter fluid in there and see if we can get it to just pop over. I think this is going to be a really easy one. Oh, and I actually have a brake pedal. There's brake fluid in the master cylinder. What in the world? Ugh. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh! Ow! Damn! Alright, I'll put the positive on first. Well, there's no spark, so that means that nothing's shorted, potentially. I know rats have been in this car for sure. All right, I'm gonna go inside and crank it. Let me know what you see. Dude, there's no way. I don't have a horn, I don't have lights. Go grab my voltmeter and test the voltage. There's no way that battery's dead. I just bought it. It's like 2 days old. Okay, so we just have a bad ground. All right, there we go. Let me go ahead and tighten up the ground cable. Well, no, I better not do that, because I don't know what, if anything catastrophic happens. I want to be able to pull this cable off. Okay, now let's try it. Still got nothing. So I guess I jinxed myself on this being an easy car. Okay, how'd that look spinning over? Oh, there's a smell. So the problem was the parking lever. I had to push it over all the way into park. I don't have a horn. I don't have headlights. I don't have wipers. So it's basically just spinning over. I'm not sure if it has to be running for all that stuff to work. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace the spark plug wires, and then I'll throw some starter fluid down the cylinder, or down the carburetor, and see what happens. So right off the bat, after installing these plug wires, I'm seeing some issues. First of all, the wipers are driven by the power steering pump, and the hose going to the power steering pump was chewed through by rats, so it's empty. So at least it's not going to spray all over the place. So I'm gonna need to find a replacement hose. It looks like it's my camera died. Anyways, found a couple of issues. The brake master cylinder vacuum line, the plastic piece broke, and I barely touched it and it fell off. So I just plugged it for right now with the cap. And then what else? Oh, the power steering line that goes to the wipers is broke, and that's all I can really see so far. I'm just gonna look around for any more hoses, and then I checked the oil. It's really black, but I mean, I don't think it's really that old, probably a few years old. The guy said he never changed it, so I think he had it for 6 years or something like that. So the oil it's at least 6 years old. And the transmission fluid looks really good, nice and red. Smells good. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and put some 2-stroke in there, and fingers crossed it'll fire up. Let's see. As long as, because it looks like from as far as I can tell, the only thing that looks like the rats chewed through were those wires. So, all right, so I have some 2-stroke and I have some Walmart starting fluid. So, and I learned my lesson from that Rambler. These big V8s, you gotta put a lot of juice in there. Especially when they've been sitting. Oh, hold on, I got a leak. All right, I found another vacuum leak. I'm gonna plug it with a screw. I have no idea what that goes to. I'll have to figure it out later. Just looks like a hose that got disconnected. The vacuum advance is metal. I know it's not the vacuum advance. Huh. All right, close the choke, let's start it. Well, okay. I really wasn't expecting it to be that easy. Nothing electrical works on this car at all. It basically just starts up. So, the oil pressure gauge, I'm pretty sure is electrical. I'll have to double check, but it doesn't work. The power windows don't work, the locks don't work, the headlights came on and worked, the turn signals don't work. So basically this is a clean car. It's basically a big electrical nightmare because it's nothing electrical works on it. I'm gonna have to hook up, I'm gonna check the fuses first, but I'm gonna have to hook up some sort of an oil pressure gauge external to make sure I have oil pressure. But from inside the car, it sounded really good. It didn't smoke. There's no smoke that blew out the rear. Let's go check out the back and see if any rat's nests flew out. This was sitting in a field in Weatherford, Texas, so. Or not in a field, but somebody's driveway in the middle of nowhere. I had loaded this thing at nighttime and there were coyotes everywhere. I mean, they were just hollering, and now I don't see anything. It blew out. So man, I think this is going to be a really easy one. I know the gas tank leaks, so I'll probably put some gas in the tank and see what happens, see how bad it's leaking. And I got to figure out how to pop the trunk. If there's any gas left in the tank, I don't know how bad it's going to be to run it on that gas. I'm going to put some water in it just to make sure it's not dry. It was about a half gallon low, so that's a good sign. I would be surprised if the temperature gauge worked. So I'm gonna put probably just strap this tank right here somewhere. I don't know, hang it somewhere, and then I'll just gravity feed it down to the carburetor. See if we can get this thing to run. I really don't want to have to rebuild that carburetor. Since this thing started up so easily and it's only been sitting for, you know, no longer than 4 years. I think I'm pretty confident that it's just gonna run on its own. But here's the fuel line. I guess I'll just disconnect it right here and I'll just strap the tank. All right, so here's what I got going on. Got a gas tank off from a Tecumseh go-kart. I don't remember if it leaks. I think it might leak. So I got a little cheap fuel filter for a lawnmower or something. I don't know what that's from. I'm just gonna hang it from the roof. That way it could gravity feed the gas down to the carburetor. I have no idea if this is gonna work. Probably not. If it doesn't work, I'll grab one of those a 12-volt fuel pump, which I'm probably gonna end up doing anyways, so I can drive the car around. So I don't even know why I'm doing this. I just like to make things a little bit harder than it's supposed to be. I guess it's probably because I'm sad that it started up so easy, and I was really looking forward to it being a hard deal. But I think I have enough electrical issues to keep me busy after I get this running, or this working. All right, I got my fuel tank hanging there. My fuel filter's on there. New fuel line on it. Well, half of it's new. I can try it and see what happens. I just don't think it's gonna give it enough pressure. I'm gonna go ahead and hook the fuel tank up, but before I do that, I want to see if it'll go into drive. For some reason I don't have any gears. Alright, so I already know what you guys are gonna say. I mean, that was way too easy. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go full send, and I'm gonna go ahead and put 4 gallons of gas in the tank, run it, and I'm gonna see if I can get the fuel to pump up. Get the fuel pump to pump, and then I'll go ahead and connect the fuel pump. And I gotta fix the brake booster line, and then I gotta replace that power steering fluid line so I can fill it up with power steering. And the transmission won't go into gear. It's low. I checked it. And I'm guessing what happened was I called my uncle and he told me that it probably was leaking, and then it drained back out of the torque converter and sucked it all back up into the torque converter, and just not enough fluid in it. So I'm gonna go get some type F fluid and then fix all these little issues, and I'm gonna see if we can pull it forward. One thing I have to do is I need to put some different wheels on it, because I put these on there and they're rubbing on the caliper. I just to get it on the trailer, I had to, because the tires that were on it wouldn't hold air. So got a list of things to do. It's not too bad. Basically none of the gauges work. The amp gauge works, but I'll go ahead and fix all those little issues. All right, so I filled the tank up with gas, topped off my gas can. I'm gonna go ahead and start it up and try to see if I can get fuel to pump to the front of the car. I guess what I'll do is I'll just take a fuel line, just connect it to where the fuel pump pumps up, and then run it over to a tank. That way I don't have fuel spraying everywhere. I was just I didn't see any gas coming out, and I was just about to stick my freaking mouth over it, and I felt a big puff, and then freaking gas almost shot in my mouth. So whew. All right, well, good thing I didn't do that. All right, so we know fuel's coming out, so I'm gonna go ahead and connect the fuel line. Man, I can't believe it. The carburetor idles. Even after a few years, the carburetor still idles. I mean, I don't even have any hesitation. If I give it gas, I mean, it's going. Before it sounded like it kind of had a miss. Now it's finally starting to clear out of that. I'm sure once I get the fuel pump hooked up and we have actual pressure and not gravity feeding, it'll run a lot smoother. I can adjust the carburetor, and I had to go pick up some Type F transmission fluid, so I'll fill the transmission up. I'm gonna hook up the brake booster line. I got a check valve for the brake booster, so I'll hook all that up, throw the parts on, and then I'll see if I have gears once I throw some transmission fluid in there. Because what happened was I checked the dipstick, there was fluid in it, and then once I ran it for a little bit, I didn't have any fluid. So go ahead and get those things knocked off the list and see if we can drive it around the. Well, I'll see if it'll go into gear today. Tomorrow, it's later in the day. I'll have to wait until the tire shop opens so I can get some tires for the front. So this is why I was getting the slow flow. It's pinched whenever I was unintentionally unloading the car, smashed that line, so just need to bend it straight and put a new piece of hose on there. Yep, there's reverse. And the brakes work too. No freaking way. Oh yeah, look at that. Boom. Power steering fluid in it. I don't have power steering, but it runs good. There's not even a hesitation. Oh man, I'm excited to drive this thing tomorrow. Ah! So I had to go and pick up some used tires. I got a really good deal on some Goodyears used. Paid 50 bucks a piece for them, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw them on. I only got 3 of them because the back one is holding air. It's really bad. I'm sure it's flat spotted and the tread's coming loose, but I told the guy I was gonna come back and get the 4th one. But just for right now, I just want to be able to drive the car around the yard and maybe even go pick my kid up. I don't know, we'll see how it runs. All right, so I got the wheels, the new tires put on. It already looks like $1 million bucks. Can't remember if I tightened that wheel. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and cruise it and see what happens. hopefully I can open that back up. And I got the window down. I just put power straight to the switch. This is the only window that works. The other windows don't work, so don't know if I'm gonna fix that, or I don't know. I got this car running so fast. I usually like a challenge. This one was so easy. Just get rid of it. I don't know. It looks really cool though, especially with those hubcaps on. Okay. You got really good brakes. Woo! Spun the tires. No power steering. There's still a leak. Take it on the road right now. This is a pretty comfy ride, even without power steering. I'm gonna put my seatbelt on and take it on the road and see what happens. Oh, I can't believe these brakes work so good. It's crazy. This thing runs really, this is the best running car I've ever had. There goes my hubcap. There goes my hubcap. Speedometer works. gauges don't work, so really don't know how much fuel I have. I don't know what my temperature is. I don't know what my oil pressure is. So besides all that small stuff, I mean, it's really not that bad. Can't roll down the windows. Don't have power steering. It'll definitely do more burnout, but that's all I'm going to give it today, because school's about to be let up and a lot of people are giving me looks and staring. So maybe I'll do another video where I do a burnout video or something.